Right then, let me tell you something rather brilliant. I wasn't born speaking English as my mother tongue. Yet, here I am, chatting away as naturally as if I'd been raised on fish and chips and afternoon tea. How did I manage it? Well, I certainly didn't spend endless hours cramming grammar books or enduring tedious classroom lectures. I discovered something far more clever, and I'm absolutely chuffed to share it with you today. Well, I certainly didn't spend endless hours cramming grammar books or enduring tedious classroom lectures. I discovered something far more clever, and I'm absolutely chuffed to share it with you today. If you're keen to master English properly whilst actually enjoying yourself, you've come to precisely the right place. Before we crack on, do give that like button a good press, subscribe to keep up with us, and pass this along to anyone who's having a bit of a struggle with English. Let's all improve together, shall we? Now, let's have a proper chat about reading and how it transforms your English journey. Reading stands as one of the most brilliant methods for expanding your vocabulary, grasping English more thoroughly, and building genuine confidence when you speak. When you read, you witness how words dance together in authentic sentences. You pick up fresh expressions, your grammar improves naturally, and you even begin thinking in English rather than translating everything in your head. Many folk reckon that learning English is purely about chatting and listening. Rather wrong, that. Reading proves equally essential. It sharpens your word recognition, helps you understand sentence construction, and shows you how English really works in practice. Throughout this discussion, we'll explore why reading matters tremendously and how you can weave it into your daily routine to enhance your English skills. Shall we begin? Reading in English serves as one of the most powerful instruments for developing your language abilities. It introduces you to new vocabulary, helps you absorb grammar patterns naturally, and strengthens your overall comprehension. Let's examine some key advantages of reading and discover how it can completely transform your English learning adventure. When it comes to expanding your vocabulary, reading offers something rather special. One of the greatest benefits is how it introduces fresh words in their natural habitat. Rather than memorizing endless vocabulary lists, you encounter words being used in proper sentences. This approach helps you grasp their meaning, usage, and context all at once. Picture this: you're reading a charming story and stumble across the sentence, "The little lad was absolutely thrilled to see the fireworks illuminate the evening sky." Perhaps you're unfamiliar with thrilled, but from the sentence, you can work out that it means something like excited or delighted. This is precisely how we naturally acquire new vocabulary, by encountering words in their proper context. Another wonderful advantage is that reading helps you recognize synonyms, words with similar meanings. When you read various texts, you might encounter words like happy, cheerful, excited, delighted, and thrilled used in different situations. This expands your vocabulary without requiring tedious memorization. Grammar rules can seem rather daunting when studied from textbooks, but reading makes the whole process considerably easier. When you see well-constructed sentences in books, articles, and stories, your brain begins to recognize correct English structure naturally. For instance, if you read a sentence like, "She's been living in London for 5 years," you're witnessing the present perfect continuous tense in action. Even if you don't fully grasp the rule initially, your brain is absorbing the proper way to construct such sentences. The more you read, the more familiar these grammar structures, word arrangements, and sentence flow become. You also learn prepositions, articles, and verb tenses simply by seeing them used correctly in different contexts. Over time, this improves your speaking and writing without having to study complex grammar rules separately. Reading isn't merely about recognizing words on a page. It develops your ability to understand ideas, opinions, and emotions expressed in English. When you read, you train your mind to process information in another language. Imagine you're reading an article about climate change. You might not understand every single word, but by focusing on the main concepts, you can still follow the discussion. This skill proves invaluable in real-life conversations, where you won't always hear perfectly clear English. Even when you don't grasp every word in a text, you can still comprehend the meaning by paying attention to the title and headings, the key words in sentences, and the tone, whether it's serious, humorous, or informative. Through regular reading practice, you develop the ability to guess meanings and understand complete ideas without needing to translate every word. Reading also transforms you into a better writer and speaker. When you read, you observe how sentences are structured, how paragraphs flow smoothly, and how ideas connect logically. This knowledge helps you express yourself more effectively when writing or speaking. For example, if you read a novel with plenty of dialogue, you learn how people naturally converse in English. You can see how they ask questions, respond to others, and express emotions. This proves tremendously helpful when you need to speak in real situations. If you read extensively, your brain begins to recognize common phrases and natural expressions. For instance, instead of saying, "I am very tired," you might read and learn the phrase, "I'm absolutely knackered." This makes your English sound far more natural and authentic. Regarding writing, reading shows you how to organize ideas effectively, use punctuation correctly, and make your writing more engaging. Whether you read stories, articles, or blog posts, you can notice how skilled writers keep their readers interested and apply similar techniques in your own writing. Reading also serves as a window into English-speaking cultures. Many books, articles, and stories offer insights into traditions, customs, and everyday life in countries where English is spoken. For example, reading a short story set in Britain might teach you about Sunday roasts or British humor. Reading an American novel could introduce you to Thanksgiving traditions or American high school culture. Learning a language involves more than just grammar and vocabulary. It's about understanding how people think, behave, and communicate. By reading in English, you develop a deeper appreciation of different cultures, which helps you connect with native speakers and feel more comfortable using the language. As you can see, reading serves as a powerful instrument that helps you grow in numerous areas. It expands your vocabulary, improves your grammar, strengthens your comprehension skills, and helps you become a more confident speaker and writer. Additionally, it provides valuable cultural knowledge that makes learning English more meaningful and enjoyable. Reading doesn't simply involve understanding words on paper. It directly improves your ability to communicate effectively in English. When you read regularly, you absorb sentence structures, fresh vocabulary, and natural expressions, all of which help you speak more fluently and express yourself clearly. Have you ever found yourself struggling to find the right words when speaking English? This is perfectly common for many learners. The brilliant news is that reading helps you build a mental library of words and phrases that you can draw upon in conversation. When you read dialogues in books or articles, you see how native speakers actually communicate. You learn how they greet each other all right, how's things, instead of the formal hello, how are you? You discover how they ask for information, could you point me towards the station, rather than where is the station? You learn how they respond naturally sounds brilliant, instead of that is good. By observing real conversations in writing, you learn to structure your own sentences naturally. Over time, this makes it considerably easier to communicate in real-life situations. Fluency involves speaking without lengthy pauses or hesitation. Many learners struggle because they translate from their native language before speaking. Reading in English trains your brain to think in English, which speeds up your speaking process significantly. For example, if you read loads of English stories, your brain becomes accustomed to common sentence patterns. When you speak, instead of thinking, "How do I say this in English?" your mind already knows the phrase and you can say it quickly and naturally. Imagine you read this sentence in a novel. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that magnificent sunset. Later in a conversation, you don't need to construct a sentence from scratch. You already know the phrase, I couldn't believe my eyes, and you can use it naturally. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw those fireworks. This is how reading makes speaking smoother and more automatic. You absorb sentence patterns without consciously memorizing them. One of the finest ways to improve pronunciation and rhythm in English is by reading aloud. This technique helps you become accustomed to English sounds and develop a more natural speaking flow. When you read aloud, you practice pronouncing words correctly. You hear yourself say new words, which helps you remember them. You speak with natural rhythm. English has a unique stress pattern, and reading aloud helps you master it. And you build confidence. The more you practice, the more comfortable you feel speaking English. For example, if you read this sentence aloud, she was absolutely thrilled to receive the award. You notice how certain words are stressed thrilled, award, whilst others are spoken quickly was to. This helps you sound more natural when speaking. A brilliant way to practice is reading along with an audiobook. Listen to how a native speaker reads a sentence, then repeat it. Try to copy their pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. When you read frequently, your brain becomes accustomed to English sentence structures and expressions. This means that when you speak, you don't need to translate from your native language. The words are already there in your mind. For instance, if you read plenty of books where characters say, "What do you reckon about?" it becomes a phrase you naturally use in conversations. "What do you reckon about this film?" "What do you reckon about my idea?" Instead of stopping to think about grammar rules, you simply say it naturally because you've encountered it numerous times whilst reading. Reading serves as a powerful instrument that improves your speaking skills, helps you communicate fluently, and even enhances your pronunciation. The more you read, the easier it becomes to express yourself naturally in English. Choosing appropriate reading material proves absolutely crucial when learning English. If a text is too challenging, you might feel frustrated and give up. If it's too simple, you won't learn much. The key lies in finding materials that match your level whilst genuinely interesting you. When selecting reading materials, always consider your English level. If you're a beginner, it's best to start with graded readers, books written specifically for English learners using simple vocabulary and grammar. Short stories with simple tales using everyday language help build confidence. Children's books employ clear sentences and basic words, making them perfect for beginners. Comics and graphic novels are brilliant because the pictures help you understand the story, even if you don't know all the words. If you're at intermediate level, instead of tackling a complex novel, you might start with an adapted version of a classic story like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland or The Little Prince. These books are rewritten with simpler vocabulary specifically for learners. Choose a book where you understand at least 80% of the words. If there are too many difficult words, try something easier. Reading becomes much easier and more enjoyable when you choose topics that genuinely interest you. Think about your hobbies and interests. Do you love football? Read articles about your favorite team. Are you interested in travel? Read about different countries and cultures. Do you enjoy music? Read song lyrics and their meanings. Are you curious about science or history? Find straightforward books on these topics. For example, if you're mad about football, you might read articles about Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. This way, you learn new words whilst enjoying the topic. Search for blogs or websites about your favorite subjects. Many online articles use simple language, making them excellent for learners. Reading different types of texts helps you learn English in various ways. Here are some brilliant options. Books help improve vocabulary and grammar. Blogs and online articles teach informal and conversational English. Magazines provide real-world English used in daily life. Audiobooks help with pronunciation and listening skills. If you read a book and then listen to the audiobook version, you can hear how words are pronounced and improve your listening skills simultaneously. Switch between different materials to keep learning fun and interesting. Choosing the right reading material makes learning easier and more enjoyable. Pick books, articles, or blogs that match your level and interests, and try different formats to improve all aspects of your English. Learning English through reading isn't simply about choosing suitable materials. It's also about making reading a proper habit. Many learners struggle to find time to read, but the key is consistency. Even small efforts, when repeated daily, can lead to remarkable improvement over time. One of the best ways to stay consistent is setting clear and realistic reading goals. These goals help you stay motivated and track your progress. Start small. If you're not accustomed to reading in English, begin with 10 minutes per day or one short story per week. Gradually increase as your reading improves. Challenge yourself to read a full chapter or a longer article in one sitting. Keep a reading log. Track what you read by writing down the date, title, and new words you've learned. Example goals for beginners: read one page daily from a graded reader. Read a short news article every morning. Finish one book per month designed for English learners. Learn and review 5 new words per reading session. Write your reading goal in a journal or set reminders on your phone to keep yourself accountable. Turning reading into a daily habit makes learning English natural and automatic. Here are some ways to make reading an essential part of your routine. Choose a specific time for reading. A habit forms more easily when you attach it to something you already do. Pick a consistent time each day for reading. Morning, read a short article whilst having breakfast. Afternoon, read during a break at work or school. Evening, read a book before going to sleep. If you connect reading with another daily activity, it will feel effortless over time. Use technology to enhance your reading. E-books and apps like Kindle, Link, and News in Levels provide access to books and articles at different levels. Online articles: read the news in English using websites like BBC Learning English. Audiobooks: listen to the audio version whilst following the text to improve pronunciation and comprehension. Create a comfortable reading environment. Make reading enjoyable by creating a pleasant atmosphere. Find a quiet and relaxing spot with good lighting. Keep a dictionary or notebook nearby to jot down new words. If you struggle with distractions, put your phone on silent mode whilst reading. Many people claim, "I haven't got time to read." But the truth is you can include reading in your daily routine without adding extra time. Read whilst waiting. Instead of scrolling through social media, use your waiting time to read, whilst queuing at a shop, whilst waiting for an appointment, whilst waiting for food at a restaurant. Read whilst commuting. If you take public transport, use that time to read a book or article. Even 5 minutes of reading can help improve your English. Read before sleeping. Many people find that reading at night helps them relax. Choose a light and interesting book to read before bed. This habit can help you sleep better and learn English simultaneously. To make progress in English, you must read consistently. Set a small but achievable goal, turn reading into a habit, and integrate it into your daily life. Even a few minutes of reading every day can make a tremendous difference. Reading in English proves an excellent way to improve vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension. However, many learners face difficulties that slow their progress. The good news is that every challenge has a solution. One of the biggest difficulties when reading in English is encountering too many unfamiliar words. This can make a text feel frustrating and difficult to understand. However, There are effective strategies to deal with unknown words without interrupting your reading flow. Instead of stopping at every unfamiliar word, try to understand its meaning from the sentence. Many words can be understood based on the surrounding information. The bright and dazzling sun made it difficult to see. If you don't know dazzling, you can guess its meaning by examining the rest of the sentence. You already know the sun is bright and makes it hard to see, so dazzling probably means something very bright or intense. How to practice context clues. Look at the words before and after the unknown word. Pay attention to synonyms and explanations in the sentence. Consider the whole paragraph, not just one word. Whilst dictionaries prove helpful, using them too frequently can slow down reading and make it feel like a chore. Here's how to use a dictionary effectively. Read the sentence first and try to guess the word's meaning. Underline or highlight difficult words instead of stopping immediately. Look up only the most important words, especially those that appear repeatedly in a text. Use an English dictionary like Cambridge or Oxford instead of translating every word into your native language. This helps you think in English. Many learners struggle to find time to read or feel unmotivated to continue. The key to overcoming this challenge is making reading fun, convenient, and rewarding. Reading shouldn't feel like homework. If a book or article is boring, staying motivated becomes difficult. Choose materials that match your interests. Love sports. Read football news in English. Enjoy cooking. Try English recipe blogs. Like mysteries. Start with short detective stories. Instead of forcing yourself to read a difficult novel, you might read a comic book or short travel blog in English. Over time, you'll feel more comfortable with longer texts. If you think, I haven't got time to read, try this. Read for just 5 to 10 minutes daily instead of attempting a whole chapter. Use waiting time on the bus, in a queue, or during lunch break. Set a daily reading goal, even if it's just a few paragraphs. Example of a simple reading schedule. Monday, read 2 paragraphs of a short story. Tuesday, read a simple news article. Wednesday, read English song lyrics and their meanings. This way, reading becomes part of your daily routine without feeling overwhelming. Long texts can feel intimidating, especially if they contain complex sentences or many new words. Here are ways to make them easier to understand. Instead of trying to read everything at once, divide the text into small parts. Read one paragraph at a time and summarize it in your own words. Use a highlighter to mark important sentences. Focus on main ideas first, then details. If you're reading a 5-page story, don't attempt to read everything in one sitting. Instead, read 1 page per day and take notes. Reading aloud helps you hear the rhythm of English sentences and improves pronunciation. Taking notes helps you remember key points. How to take notes. Write down the main idea of each paragraph. Note 3 new words per page and try using them in sentences. Write a short summary after finishing the text. If a text proves difficult, read it twice. The second time, you'll understand considerably more. Reading in English will always present challenges, but with proper strategies, you can make steady progress. Don't stop at every unknown word, try guessing from context. Make reading interesting by choosing topics you enjoy. Break long texts into small sections and take notes. By following these techniques, reading in English will become easier, more enjoyable, and more effective. We've explored how reading can serve as a powerful instrument for learning English. Let's quickly recap the main points. Reading expands your vocabulary by exposing you to new words in context. It improves your grammar by helping you observe correct sentence structures naturally. It enhances your comprehension skills, making it easier to understand spoken and written English. Reading strengthens your writing and speaking abilities by providing more ideas and confidence to express yourself. It offers cultural insights, allowing you to learn about English-speaking countries and their way of life. Here's an important message to bear in mind: consistency proves key. Even if you read just a few minutes every day, you'll see significant progress over time. Learning a language is a journey, and every small step brings you closer to fluency. So, what will you read next? Do let us know in the comments what book, article, or story in English you're planning to start reading. Keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Cheerio!